Okay, so can you share with us some of the did you encounter any challenges when you were yeah, hello. Did you
Hello.
encounter challenges? I wanted to know if you did encounter any challenges when you were going.
No.
No. Okay. And so far, how is your understanding in terms of the Python language?
Everything is okay.
Everything is okay. Okay, that's fine. Adade, what about you?
Yeah, the problems I encountered was with the slicing part, but you said you're going to take it today. But apart from that, everything we did prior was okay.
Okay, okay. The slicing part, yeah, we'll continue
Yeah.
today. So,
Mm.
yeah, okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, so thank you. So I will share my screen with you shortly, then you continue. Okay. So where did we go to?
We go to the slides.
Okay, so please can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we go to the we completed the data type, non-data type, right? And we talked about the collection types. Okay. So I jump to the okay, so this is where we got to, right? Hello.
Hello, yes.
Yeah. We got to. So we got to the slides part. Okay. Okay, so now let's take a part to that. So now when we talk about data and in Python, let's see, we have a data. So we did talk about the collection type. Okay. So for a string like this is iterable. Okay, a string is iterable, meaning that you can what access individual what elements in a string. Let's see the characters. Okay, so I could use a for loop to be able to get that, or you can use the indexes to be able to get that. Okay, so another one is a list. Okay, so for now, what we have here is a string. So now I have a string here and I want to get individual elements. Now, one way we can do that is by using the indexes. Okay, so I believe when I talk about index, you understand. Do you understand when I use the term index?
Yep.
So what do I mean by that when you say index?
Index to mean maybe like, is it set like counting numbers standing for set, the characters in the string, if you get one. Like for
Mm-hmm.
uh, counting numbers, like you use numbers to stand for the various characters in maybe the string.
Okay, okay. So you have idea about that. Okay. Who else? Uh, Kwame, can you also give your view? What when you talk about index? Do you have any idea?
Um, Index like refers to like the elements in I don't know a string or something like that.
There was
Elements in a string, like for example, this one.
okay, okay. So I think you have some idea. Okay, but let's get it clear. Okay. One thing is once you understand the terms are very, very important. Like I use the term maybe index, I'll be talking about elements, so you need to understand all those things because once you get the understanding clear, I think you could do whatever you want to do. So when we talk about index simply means that now we are talking about position. So you hear about index, think about position. Like you'll be writing B, C, or Y, C. You use the term, you need to get your index number. Okay. So when you get your index number, it tells you that where you'll be sitting is the position. It's a number that will give you that, hey, this is your slot, this is your position. So maybe based on the sometimes they use the naming. Okay, so maybe alphabetical order. So if I'm a J, so they look at the A category, then come to B. So that's how the indexes will be arranged. I hope you've gotten that.
Yeah.
So if I'm A, I know that maybe I'll be sitting with the next A. So if you have two A J, definitely the first A J will come. The next one maybe a J something, maybe a J pan, maybe the other one is a J maybe other day. So if you are a J other, definitely you will come before the A. Okay, so that is the indexing. So simply means you think about the position where you will be. So it also comes to the same thing to the string. Individual elements. Let's say individual elements here. We have element O, element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4, element 5. These are individual elements. And when you put them together, we sum them, we call them a string. So we say string, anything within the quotes, either a single quote or a double quote, is a string. So now I have individual characters here. And if I want to get access to one character, I need to look at the position in which this character occupy. Okay, so and I said that when it comes to the counting starts from 0. So it means that the first element or the first character will be occupied by the position 0. So we use the term index. 0 is the starting point of the first item, and then maybe index the last one, depending on the length. So the last length here will give me the last element. That will be the last index. So you just need to think about when you talk about indexing, we are only referring to the position of an element. Okay, so let's and look at this. Now, when you have this one, this is an item. So if I have this item here, if I want the index, we use the open and close square brackets in front of the item. So I have this. I will copy this one and go to my share. So let's type Python. So I'm using my, so now so I have this. Okay, I have this. So this is just a string. Okay, so with this string, if I want to get individual elements here, I can put this one here. Okay, and then I look at the position. So which position? So I want the first item. So that will be position 0. So if I place this one here, that is going to give me the first one. Okay, I could also store. Okay, I could also store. So for instance, if I've given a variable, let's say sty, okay, and then I assign the value to this. So in that case, if I want any element, I need to use the variable name, because here there's no variable here. So whatever here is inside the variable. So if I call STY. It's going to give me all this one. Okay, so now if I want this one, what that I needed to do is to be able to okay, welcome, Christian. Okay, so now if I'm here, if I want this one, and when I call this one, it's going to give me. So if I needed any variable from this side, okay, what that I needed element from these ones, I just call the variable name STY, and then I will place my open and close square brackets. So that tells me that this one will tell me that, hey, you needed one aspect of this. So if I place this one here, it's going to give me the first item. Okay, I could do the same thing, and then I change the number. So that is index 1, simply means position 1. So position 1 is going to give me the second one. Okay, so that's going to give me the second one. Then when I move to position 2, it will give me the third one. Okay, so that is, but you realize that we are getting 1, 1, 1, 1. Now, if you want to get maybe as a different, maybe copied part, maybe get a part of it. So maybe I want to have access to 0 to maybe 4. And that is where slicing comes in. So when you say slice, in English word slice, what does it mean? Any explanation? Normal English, forget about programming. When you use the word slicing, when someone says slice, what is the person trying to say in English?
To like cut something, like to divide something into 2 or more parts.
Cut something, so just to get some parts of it. So
Yes.
you need to so you see slice, you can slice bread, you can do all this too. So it's the same name, that the same understanding. So now we want to slice. So if we want to slice, we use this one. We use the column. Okay, so this column here, when you place the column inside the square bracket, it means that you want to slice apart. Not necessarily you want to just one of the element, you want to slice and pass. So depending on what you want. Now you can say that you see the start of the index start from what, 0 and end at a point. So if I leave here like this, it means that I want the default. It means that by default this one is 0, and by default here is what, the last one. So it's going to give me all what, the elements together. So if I come here, you could see that everything has been what, copied. So I didn't slice them part. So now if I want to copy from 0 to 3, then I can see that I'm starting at index what, 0, which I know that is the starting point. That will give me the first one, and then end at what I want. So here, the number that you place here will be the ending number, so that you keep it in mind. Here will be the number that will end it. It will not print that number. So if I want from 0 to 3, I want to print 3. So what will be a number that will be here? The last
4.
So if I have 4 here, it means that index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. So index 4 here will stop it. So printed. So when you see here, you can see that I have 0, 1, 2, 3. So it means that I've sliced some part of this. Okay, so that is slicing. So when you check our notes, you could do slicing in so many ways. Now, the next one is we say that, so this is a positive word, slicing, and then we have negative. So in negative means that you are starting from the back of the item. So when you see -1, it means that I'm talking about the first what item at the back. Okay, so if I start, so this is positive slicing. Okay, so the positive slicing start from what? Left to your right. So you keep it, start from your left to your right, and it begin at 0. Okay, it can also start without any number, but when you decide not to put any number there, it assumes that by the default number is what? 0. So for instance, if I start here and then I remove this, okay, so let's say I've taken this one off, and then here is, instead of starting with, I will leave it. So by default, it knows that the number that's supposed to be should be 0. So it will pick the default number for me. So I'll get the same. You get it. You get it, because by default, it is like that. If I start with this, okay, that is how it will be like. Okay, if I also decide to start from 4, it means that the starting point is starting from 4. So it's going to print what? If I start from here and I place 4 here, which number will it start printing from? Which number?
4.
4. Yeah, so start from 4. But when I leave it like that, then it means that it's going to start from 4 and then print everything. Okay, because I didn't specify where it should end. So by default, it will give me everything. So you see that here, I'll start from 4 and end at where it's supposed to end. So that is how this one works. Okay, so you just always have to think about it. It's not anything difficult. Okay, when it comes to the slides. Now let's move on to the negative part. So negative means that I'm starting from the back, moving from maybe my right to my left. Okay, so in that case, the -1 is going to give me the first item. So if I see -1 in front like this, okay, you see that only 9 came. Okay, only 9 came because -1 will give me the first item. Okay, so nothing will show here. Okay, nothing will show here. If I also do something like this, and instead of starting from -1, because I can also do this -1. Okay, and you see that I had all. Why? Who can explain?
Because you didn't specify where it should end. So, like from the starting point, it will print everything, like to the left.
Okay, who else?
Okay. Please, which one are you talking
I'm looking
about?
at
The
it.
one.
I'm talking about the 2. You see, when I
Uh,
started from -1 in front, that is the
uh,
beginning. It gave me, you can see here,
no.
nothing is here. Then I change it to this side. Then I'm ending with -9 here. But I realized that I had 0 to 8, and I'm seeing
Uh,
that who can explain.
because by default, it will start with like the first number. Because you didn't place the
Mhm,
0.
mhm.
So the default number it starts with is 0. And yeah, so even if you don't place a 0 there, it's going to start from the first number and print to like the index of the number 9 is -1. So you like -1 is for 9. So that's where it's ending. So
Yeah.
like it's not going to include the 9.
Okay, okay, that's fine. That's fine. And then when you come to the first one, we realize that that printed just 9. Why? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So the other one, I just printed 9. When I started from what you explained for the ending -1, that is perfect, correct. Now let's come to the when I start from with -9, a -1, you give me 9. Why?
Because okay,
Yeah, Kwame.
because according to like the code, it's supposed to start at 9. The index for like -1 is 9. So when it starts at 9, there's no other like number before the 9. So it just like gives the 9.
Mhm. Okay, okay. So I think you got it right. So now we see that the -1 is the index for the last element. Okay, -1 is the index for the last what element. So if I place -1 in front of it of the slice at the first one, it means that I'm saying that it should print the first item, the last item, but after the last item, there's no item again to be printed. So that's why you saw just what 1, because after the first one, after the last index, there's no element again. So definitely 1 will come. Okay, and then this one too, we are saying that it should end here. So it means that it will start printing from orders. We know that the next will be negative, -2, -3, -4, -5. So it will bring all the negative, 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 negative. And then the last one, we all know that -1 is bigger than -2, right? So that's how the counting goes. Okay, so here we are dealing with negative. Okay, so if I want to get maybe more than, let's say, 8 and all these things, so what I'll do is that I will just change here, and then I'll start here with, so I want to print like 5, 6, 7, up to 7, 8. Okay, up to 8. So if I want to do that, what number do you think I should place here?
Please, can you come again with the question?
Meaning that I want to print from 5 to 8. I want 5, 6, 7, 8 should be printed out. So now I'm seeing that the beginning of the number, what number do you think I can start with? A negative number, of course, because you are dealing with negative figures. Mm-hmm.
-5.
Yeah, -5. So when you have -5 here, definitely it's going to print that for us. So now you see that I have 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And of course, I want to print from -5, but this time I want the 9 to be included. Realize that 9 is not there. So if I want the 9 to be included, what do I need to do? Looking at, we are still in negative indices. What do I need to do? Now this time I want the 9 to be included. You realize what we have here, the 9 was in part. So what do I need to get the 9 to it?
But please, like after the -5, you place nothing there.
You place nothing there. Okay, good. So that actually will give you everything from there. So now you can see that I have the 9. So that is the indexing. Okay, so just, yeah, yes, you are just copying part of what the whole content and printing it out. So that is index. Okay, so you could get this one and store it in another variable, and then when you call the variable, it's going to give you that. Okay, so that is the indexing stuff that we started with. So now you could see here we have all these index. We have this. So this one is going to, well, we are starting with 3, so you're going to print from that, and then you see that we are ending with 3, so it will print from that side. And here now you see there's another thing here. Now I have, instead of 2, now you can see that here we have 3 columns. Okay, now the last column that is 2. We call that one okay, skip means that by default it just jumped by 1. It added 1 to every index. So now if I'm saying that when you print the first index, add 2 mean that I'm saying that it should jump, either jump or skip. Okay, skip by 2 or add by 2, anyhow you understand it. By default, this number that you hear, there's another column for 1. There's another column 1, like here. You see that this one here, we have another column. There's a column, let's see. Okay, and then that one deal with what? This one. You can see all the same thing came because what? 1, there's another for 1. Okay, which is by default 1 is 1, so it means that by 1 doesn't make it, so you don't need to write it. And when you want to more, then you maybe I want to jump by 2. I don't need this one. I want the next one. So you need that. You have to add that. So that's why you will see that you have 2 here. Means that jump. So now if I start from 3, after 3, you will see that index 3 is starting from 3. So 3 will come. Then we say we should jump 2. So jump to after 3, that 4 will not come. Okay, then it move, the second one will move to 5. So now you can see that we have 5 there. Okay, so that is how this thing came about. And then here we gave 7. So you also have to look at that. So if you are using the 7 here, the length is 7. So it will also count that before it will give you all these things. So let's look at this one. I have index 7. Okay, so if I'm starting from 3 and stopping at 7, so where will it stop? So if starting with the whole index is what? Starting from what? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the 7 is stopping at the number 7 there. The index that is stopping at. So if I'm jumping 2, so it means that 4 will not come. Okay, then it will get the 5. Okay, so that's how then it will jump 2 again. So definitely 6 will also not come. But the last element is 7. So you see that you only have 3 and 5. I hope it's clear.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is the skip. We call it skip. Okay, so you could skip everything. So now what I'm having here, let's see, I'm starting with, so I have the 3 here. Okay, and then I have 7 here. That is the where it will stop. Okay, and I have skip here 1. So if it's 1, definitely 1 is the same number. So it's going to give me 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm seeing that when you get the 3, skip 2. So you're going to skip 1 and then move to the next and give me that 1. So that's what it means. So if instead of 1 is 1, so it's going to give me everything. So it will move the 2 step. So that is what it means. After 3, move 2 step, 1, 2. Then should give me that 1. Then move 1, 2, but then the last is 7, so it's not going to give me anything. So now if I'm here and then I change the skip to 2, okay, and then run this code, you can see that I have 3 and 5. If I change the last element from 7 to 8, then it's going to add the 6. So now you see that I have that element being added to it. Okay, so because I've changed it to this one, so now it's going to add this element to that. So it will skip this one, the 8, 6, and then add what? The 7. I hope it's clear. Do you understand the skip?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that is slicing. Okay, that is slicing. So we talk about the length. So sometimes you can take the length of the item and use it as well. So last time I explained the length function to you. So let's see. The item that we have here is this st. So if I want the length of this, I could see that last. So last item. So last underscore ye, last, maybe last element. So the last element, I can use the length function like this. Okay. So the length function here is going to give me the length of the slice. So if I run this code like this and then come here and say last, so that's going to give me the length. So that the length is what? Is 10. Okay, but if I want to get the last item, you know, the last item length is what? What is the length for the last item?
Please come again.
The position for the last item. That was 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, 9. So if
Yes.
you get the position for the last, I should see that I'll subtract 1 from what? The 1. So instead of here, just a simple mathematics. So you could do this maybe minus 1. Okay, so minus 1 here is going to give me for the last item. So if I write the last E, okay, sorry, E. So that is going to give me 9. So that tells you is the last item. So if I come here and then write for this STY and then place this one here and place my last in there. Okay, last ye. So that's going to give me the last element. Okay, so you can see that that one can, and I could also use the same thing in the slides. So if I come here and then I end here with the slice, maybe this. So that's going to give me all. Okay, I hope it's clear.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So that is the length. So you can take the length of something, you can do a simple mathematics with it and still use it within your code. Okay, so length function is very, very important. So you take note of that. Okay. So another point that we supposed to go through. So now we understand the slicing and we know how to use the slicing. And you can try your hands in there, try your hands to do so many things. But definitely we'll go into details of that somewhere too. But you need to understand the concept of sorted function. So we've gone through some functions here. So like last time I said, you can get a note somewhere, you jot some of these things there, so you could be using them. So we've talked about the print function where you can use elements, whatever that you want to do. We've talked about the help function. I hope you remember. We've talked about the type function. We use the type function to get the type of data that we are dealing with. So that one too is there. So you also to keep in mind that you want to do that. And then we look at the directory, the del function. Okay, so you can check into the directory and see whatever that information that you have. Okay, so we've done that, and I've also introduced to you another function called the len function. So you see how you use the len function also in your work. Okay, when we added another function called sorted. So now sometimes the way the elements are coming, you can sort them maybe from the highest to the least, or from the least to the highest. So that is sorted. Normally, sorted is the English word sorted. So most of the things that you see here, explanation is the same as your English word, sorted. So you call sorted function. So what are you doing? So you can sort the element, you can sort a list, and then once you sort, you bring back to original elements how you want to be like. So that is one thing that you need to know. We go into details how you use a sorted function and how you take back. I just want you to take note of that we use if you want to sort, and then use the word sorted, okay, to be able to sort the element. So now option, you have in sorted, we have option argument. So the option argument provide what we call flexibility in how the elements are sorted and in what order that you want the element to be sorted. Okay. So in general, we say that empty collections are treated as what? False in Boolean expression. So when you have anything, the collection, whatever that is empty. If something is empty, it's false. Why are we saying false? Why are we saying empty collections are treated as false in Boolean? Why? Why? Hello.
Hello. Because in Boolean, 0 represents false and 1 represents true.
Represent false. So definitely, when something is empty, it means 0. Okay, yes. That is true. Okay. And then otherwise, true otherwise. So if you have anything with it, then it's going to give you true. So we say that two functions, that is any and all. Okay, so you can see here is any and all. We find the concepts to decide. Okay, so let's look at any. So you see that any function takes what? The collections as an argument and return true if any member of the collection is true. Okay, so if any member of the collection is true, so it means that when you have something within it, definitely when you use the any, it's going to be true. And the all function takes the collection as an argument and return true if and only if all the members are true. So it needs to be true. So it means that all true is the same as the logic line we talk about. Is when we use the end, it means that when we have two conditions, all the conditions must be true. And when you use all means that at least one must be true. Okay, so that is the difference between the end functions and then the all functions. All all elements must be true. Okay, and you know what causes what? When element is starting within the elements, definitely is going to give you false. So when you have empty elements, then you want to put all in there, or it's going to give you that. Okay, then let's look at string. Now we've talked a lot about all this, so we make specific to string. Now we've been talking about string since we started. Okay, and I said that anything within the quotes is termed as what? A string. Anything within the quote. So even if it's a number or it's an integer or it's a float, anything within the quotes is termed as what? A string in programming. Anything within the quotes. We have a single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes. Okay, so if I have a single quote, so if we are using a single that you are using a single quote, it should be a single quote. If you are using a double quote, it should be a double quote. But sometimes you can use both. Okay, so for instance, here, say Python requires enclose with mean word quotation marks. So Python is extremely flexible in this regard, and as single quotes like this, as you can see a single quote like Joe, then double quote like this. So you can use a double quote like this, and then we have triple single quotes. So you can have triple single quotes. So you can have single quote 3 here, single quote 3 at the back, and then you can have double triple quote. So you can have double triple quote, double triple quote. Okay, so all those ones qualify to be a string to what? So when you put all these things together, so sometimes you know that this you can have some of them like here. You can see that my brother's hat. So you can see that it has apostrophe here. Okay, so if I play this one inside as double quotes here, so to see this X here as not part of the quote, you just see this one as what or a string if I'm using a double quote at the end. So let me copy this one and explain it further so you get what I'm. So now I've copied this one, and I'll come here and I will say test me. Test me, and I'll place this one here. So now they just now you can see there's a quote here. This is a single quotes, okay, but here it will, sorry, it didn't pick the quotes well because I just copied, so it's not seeing it as quotes. So let me clean it and write. So these are some of the things that sometimes happen, so please kindly take note of them. Okay, so so you can see that I just copy by so that these ones are not what the codes from my keyboard. Okay, so you take notes. When this thing happens, you don't waste your time. You get give value to character. So now I can write this code here, and then you can see that it's working. Now here, this what you see here is it make it work because it sees that what part of what the character. So when you can see that my brother's what hat. Now if I decide to use, let's say single quote here and then single quote here at the beginning. Now let's run this code. You can see here is going through this. Now it did not give me error. Why? I was expecting error, but then it did not give me error. Why? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Are you following? Are you following?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm seeing that I was expecting an error, but it did not give me error. But I know why is it that it did not give me error. But I use single quotes here, but it's supposed to give why. The reason is, I copy the text direct here. And initially it was telling me that the quotes, the double quote that I was having wasn't the quotes. So now this X apostrophe brothers apostrophe X, that what is seeing here, it doesn't see that what a quote. Okay, that's why it is, because I copy it directly. So now let me change it. So that's one thing that you need to take note. Mostly when you want to copy code and run, this something can happen and you'll be checking now. You don't know why your code is not running. So now I'm changing it back here to this. Let's run it. Now you see this time I had an error. Okay, see syntax error, invalid syntax, and then it point to see where the pointer is pointing. So now you know that where the error is coming from. Okay, okay, so it says that here it means that the code is ending here, the first and it ending at the R. So from here, there's no what, it doesn't cover because I'm using a single quote. So this single will end to the single here. So from here, it doesn't cover. So now I tell you that invalid was syntax. So we are saying that if sometimes you want to use some of these characters within your program, like English X, or maybe you want to add the apostrophe at the beginning of the on top of the S or whatever, then you need to outer quote should be double quote. Then inner you use the single just to differentiate you. So it will see it as what part of what the characters, but not see it as what quote. So if I come back here and then now to solve this issue, I need to change this one to double quotes. Okay, and then I'll come here and change this one to double quotes. Okay, so now I can run this code and everything will work. So you can say test me. I hope it's clear. Hello.
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, okay. So that is the string. When you get to know the double quotes, that's the explanation in there. So we've covered up to, so the next, let's see. Okay, so now we look at the double. So this is what you see here. Once you click and the triple code. Now the triple code can accept multiple lines of code. Okay, so if I'm using the triple code, I can have multiple lines. Okay, not necessarily just one single line. Okay, so that's the advantage of using a triple code. So if I have the single quotes or the double quotes will give you just one line. So maybe I want to print the whole of this page. I want to print the whole of this page. So I can use a triple code to be able to do that. So for instance, I want to print all this one. Okay, I want to print all this one. So so with this one, I could use my job. So now I'm having the triple code here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then I have another one. 1, 2, 3. So in between them, I'm going to type whatever that I want to type. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then you place your Let's see. Anyway, so now I'm going to end with this one, triple quote 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now you can see that I've gotten multiple lines. Okay, so if I now write my code here, I say my job. So now you can see that I have multiple. So that is multiple lines. So we use triple quote for multiple lines. So you can have a triple quote double or triple quote single. Okay, just for multiple lines. So if you want to present something like all this one within your code, maybe as introduction or as note, as a guide before maybe the main program, and you use the triple quote to be able to do that. Okay, so that's what we have. And then we have another character called tab. So simply means that new line. So here, this one you can tab character or and also for a new line. For the help, I've explained it for you. So maybe I want to move to the next line. So you could use this one here to move to the next line. So let's see what we did, the backslash end. So from here, I'll come here. So what we did here was from here. Let me come here. Okay, so let me copy a different ones and then I will use that. Okay, forget about it. So now I'm copying from here again to the down one. And this time I'm going to use the new line concept. Okay, so from here I just copy and come to my job again. My job. So I'm using triple quote. Play this one here. Paste anyway. Okay, so I want to just put new line here, backslash n. Okay, so this is a new line concept. So we have here this a new line here. What you have here is what's a new line. So now new line here will simply mean that we want to change, like it should move to a new page. Okay, a new line instead of on the same line, it should move to a new line. So we place that one there so that when you should write your code, it's not going to be on the same line or the same single line. So we'll be able to change that one aspects. Okay, so I just tried that part and then we see how this one will go. So I'll come here and then hit, oh sorry, hit enter. Oh, sorry. Okay, so now I'll call my job. So you can see that I'm moving to more lines here, but I just close it at this part. So my job, So you could see these were all the new lines there. This is the new line that I was just clicking here. So this created the new lines here. You see this, the new line, because I did one new line here, one new line here, one new line here. So it was showing the new lines that I did before I terminated it. Okay, and the one that I added to here. Okay, but in coding, when you are doing it, you add all those things, it's going to show the next line concept. So that is the new line here for you. Okay, so you just take note of that. One is you'll be seeing them in code and it doesn't print all the text for you in one line. Okay, so once you get that, you know, and then the new tab two, you'll be using the new tab, the T for the new type. Okay. And here what are we seeing the bytes and the byte array. So as you know that you could have bytes maybe in terms of characters and stuff. Okay, so we just use that one to represent the number of characters that you have. So if I have a byte, let's say a byte is an 8-bit value. Okay, it's an 8-bit value and equivalent to integer from 0 to 255. Okay, so 0 to 255, you get a byte, and then which will give you the 8 bits. Okay, so you just take note of that. Okay, so examples are here. So you have here B simply mean bytes. Okay, so you can this alphabet here, and then you will be able to have this. When you see the B here, that's what we are talking about here. And then when you play this one, it means that you want to get there. So X here, we are assigning it to this. So this one you should understand because the 0 here is telling us something. Who can explain this code? Who can explain this code? From the indexing that we did, who can explain this?
Yeah,
From,
the S.
So we have a variable X assigned to a byte of this. Okay, and then we have variable C assigned to this. Now we are saying that this is equal to this, and then this is equal to this. So who can explain that?
Uh,
Yeah. Any idea? Any idea?
No.
No. So when you see something like this, so for instance, if I have this code, let's see, just for us to, if I have this code here, let me have this code here, and I call X. Definitely, you see what it gave me. Okay, now in the same way, we see that I have this one. Now, if I have this one, okay, if I have this one, okay, and I call this, okay, you also will see that I can call C, okay, and then it will give me this because this is what I've assigned to. Now I have S this 0. When this, I know you understand, right?
Yeah.
What am I getting? What am I getting here?
65.
Is 65. But it's giving me 65 here. Okay. What is the 65 means? What is the meaning of 65? Well, I said that it has to
The
0 to what? So now let me do this. That is the x from all this one to 65. Okay. Okay. Now let's look at this one for the C. C, that is 0. What is this?
65.
65. So what does it represent? What are you represent? What are you looking at? The 65. What are the 65 represent? So you can see that we have this. Okay, we have this. So now when we see that this one, the whole of this one is this. Okay, this x is not equal to this. Okay, so what we want to do is that even though we are having the same 65, okay, the whole of this, if you check here, the whole of this is different. Okay, if I call this 65, this C, if I call C, what are the C gives? If I call the C, the C will give me what? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, if I call the C will give me what?
A.
A, no, it's not A. C, B what? Okay, let's see this. Int C. Okay. Now here we have, here you could see that when you do that, it's just giving us some error here, integer with base this. Okay, but what that I wanted us to take note is that we want to deal with the index, the number here, the memory here, what we are storing. Okay, so if you come here, you can see that this one, this is the bytes. Okay, this actually tells you that what you've stored. So if I call x, it will give me what I've stored here. Okay, it will give me everything. So it be bytes, that's what I assigned to s. So that is what it will give it to me. If I call C, it also will give me what? B byte A. Okay, that is the byte of A. I hope you get it. Okay.
yeah.
Now, what comes in where I want to understand is now we are comparing, we are saying that A this, because we realize that when you call SA, is going to give that the first index. When you see 0 here, 0, this open square bracket 0 here is giving us an index. We've done the index. So it's going to give us the first character, right? I hope that one we understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have the first character here. So that's what I was doing here. I just want you to bring your mind to where we are, what I'm doing here. So now if I start with the C0. So I'm getting the first index of this, and that first index is going to give me a number. Forget about the number you are seeing for now. Okay, so now you realize that I had the number 65. Okay, let's do with the x as this, because if we also store then we look at the index there, it's giving us a number, which is what? 65. Okay, now when we use equal, what do we mean by equal? Equal means that we are comparing the value of this, that is should be the same as what the value of what the other one. Okay, and that is where the programming is the pattern is telling us false, because there's a difference between this. Because when you call XC, what do we get? What we got? We had what? We had BA, right? And when you call S this, we had what? 65, right?
Yes.
This one is not equal. You need the two equals and it's not equal, so therefore you get false. I hope you understand. I just want you to understand the principle. So it's not equal, because when you call this, what it will give you. So that you can get this. So you can even look at it and tell the output, okay, this C here is going to give me this, but this one is not giving me that. Forget about the 65 for now. Okay, but we did something here and say that to an integer from 0 to 255. So definitely we are saying a byte is an what? 8-bit value. Okay, I hope you are watching here.
Yes.
Equivalent to an integer from this. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we call the 65 is the value of what that index that we call. Okay, so when you call index 0, it's giving us a equivalent to integer value of that. That is what we got. Okay, so definitely it's not going to be the same, but then as a in the 0, x in the 0 equal to c in the 0. That one is true, because when we did that, we realized that we had what? The same what? 65 as what? Integer value. So the state is not the same. Okay, if you remember our previous class, you can use the is to check the state, and we use the equal to check what? The equality. I hope it's clear. We use to check what? The equality. So definitely here it's not equal. Okay, so we are going to add up. We want to get what? False. Then when we check this one, this is equal, because we will be having what? 65 or 65. Let's check something here. I have this. Now let me do slice and see something like this. Okay, and run. Now you can see that what do I have here? I have the whole of this. Okay, you can see that I've gotten the whole of bytes. Okay, so now if I have this one and I want to check the state, okay, and I say B, if I say B is C. In that case, I'm not sorry. Do we have the B? Oh no, I didn't have B there, sorry. It was what? S, right?
Yes.
S is C. Now it's false. Do you get it? Because it's not like that. Okay. Now let's look at this. We have this. Okay. This one, I just want you to understand this. It will help you when you get it. Now this is 0. Okay. I'm dealing with the index. Is C zero. Okay. Now, when you check this one, it's what is true, and then because the state is the same, right? But we are all
Yes.
talking about the state is the same, and the equality here to be also the same. So if I say here, S is 0 equal to C in the 0. I hope it's clear.
Yes, please.
Okay, so that is what we are checking. But when you check this one, definitely you be getting the same number, which when you check, you are 65, 65, and then it's equal. And the state to be equal, and the state will also be equal. So you have the same answer. Okay. So that is right and the right arrow. So you just need to take note of that. Anytime you see the price, you know how to do. So it just okay. Okay, so now we look at string situations. So now when we look at the string, so we go into detail of string. Okay, so when I see strings, what comes to mind? When I use the word strings, what comes in mind? What comes
Like
in
items in
mind?
quotes.
Yeah, item in code. So item in code. So anything, even if the number is a string, so item in code. So there are some things that string comes with. Okay, so I want us to look at some of them. So now, when we use this plus sign for string, simply means we are saying concatenation. So check the keyword concatenation. Okay, so concatenation simply means you are joining. Well, last time when I added like 2 and 3, it gave me 23, right?
Yeah.
So when it was a string, it gave me 23 because it was joining them. So it was concatenating. It wasn't actually adding. Okay, so the plus sign here for string here simply means you are what? Concatenating, you are joining. Okay, and then literally you can also use this one instead of using this addition. We can also use the same join function, the join to also do the same work that this plus will do. But this join function is more efficient when you use this. So I love to use this one more than to use this plus sign. Okay, but you as a beginner, you can still be using the plus, but as you get to do more within Python, you learn to use this one. Okay, so that is different. Then you will see this multiplication sign. In this one, we just have to multiply by a number. So maybe if I'm writing a code, let's say, let's look at this code. I have a string here. So I want to give a heading. And then within the heading, I want to draw a line. Okay, so for instance, let me say line. Okay, and then with this line, you can assign it to a string. Okay, and this string will be, let's say, this. Okay, this is what I've assigned to, or I can just do just one of these. Anyhow, it's going to be working. So now with this one, I can just call this one. And now when I say line, and then I can use this multiplication sign, multiply by 20. So it means that I want 20 of this. So you can see it. Do you see? So sometimes you can use it to underline your program, maybe when you are writing, so heading, and then you do that. So that will be printed, and then you write on top. So that is multiply. So it's going to multiply the character here by what? 20. Okay, so you enjoy using this sign here just for multiplication. So it produces multiple copies of a string concatenated together. Okay, so simply means that it will join it together. So after multiplying, you see it as one, as we saw. And then we have another function that we'll be using: upper, the lower, the capitalize, and all those. So this sometimes you change the state of your value. So for instance, you can go to some site, you can type all in maybe lowercase, but the output they can just give you what they want. Okay, meaning that something like this, I can say name, let's say name, and then our sign name is name is maybe Kingsley, small letters. Okay, and then I'll push it. So if I call name here, you see that I'm getting this Kingsley. So I want to change the way it comes, it represents, so I could see the same thing, but this time I can use the word of upper because it's already lowercase. So I can change it to upper. So you can see that everything here is Kingsley. Okay, you could use, we have another called title. And then we have another called capitalize, like you saw. So all those ones, when you do it, it's going to give you that functionality. So you see the lower, this one, how justify, all these are functions that you can get. Now start with, so this one is start with more or less like Boolean. Okay, so what I need to do is start with a line. With this one, it's not everything that here, like I was telling you that here you can see upper and lower. We can have capitalized, here you can have title. So title simply means that it's going to change the first letter to title case. Let's see if I can do that for you. It's going to change it to the first one when you have the title. Okay. Okay, so when you use the word title, that is going to change it to the title case. That is the first letter will be changed to title case. Okay, so that is the difference between that. Okay, so anytime you see all those, now start with this. Is also going to start with center right. You want to center your title like the way you see in Word is the same thing. Justify, that is going to do that. Then the R justify, that is going to also justify. Start with. So now you're going to give a string that it will start with. So to check the bullet, to check if you are starting with that, maybe you should check all the items starting with E or ending with L. So that is bullet to find out to check that if it's actually starting with that. Okay, so that is what we have define. Then we have index. So already we've done a index, you know that. So you can find the indexes of this character Okay, so when I play this, I can get the index this, so it will be able to give me the index of that. Okay, so all this information that is here, saying that fine return -1 or failure, whereas index raises an value error exception. Okay, so when you have the indexes, then you are checking, and when it's not there, that's what that exceptional error message. Okay, and it's alpha. It's alpha. It also is a boolean. It's also going to check if it's an alpha bet. Okay, you can have it's alphanumeric. So it's alphanumeric, check if it's alphabet and then numeric at the same time. Okay, and then it's digit, also a boolean. So it's going to check what you are providing is digits. Okay, and then join. I said that you use the join to list. You can join the string together. You can join a list together, but the output comes as what? A list. Okay, so you can also do all those things to work with. Okay, and then we have split, like the way that we were using the slicing. You could also split an item into two, so using the split function. So split will split a string into a list or a substring based on the given separator that you give. Okay, so that is what we have here. You can do partitions, you can do strip. Strip simply means that it check the gap. So for instance, if I'm typing and then I leave a gap here, for this one you might not see it well. So now you can see that I can see king. I can see king here. And then you can see this one, there is no strip. So when I leave a space here, okay, so this one, a strip will remove the gap here, because this one is quite space. It will remove the gap that I've left here. Okay, both front and end. Okay, so if I have both here, it will remove that. So if maybe you want to take care of maybe the left side alone, then we have what R strip and the L strip. That one, just take care of one and remove that. Okay, so you see that we have the L strip, the R strip, that take care of just one side and remove the empty space that you have there. Okay, so all this one, we have the replace functions and stuff. So these are some of the properties that comes with a string. Okay, so we'll be using most of them. We'll be using a lot when you are writing your code. Sometimes you need to apply some of these things. Okay, so you take note of them. And this is just the information that I'm giving you here. So when you move on to more of the practice, you'll be working with them more. So just take note of some of these things. Okay, so last time I also talked to you about the tuple. Okay, so I hope you remember what I said about tuple.
Yeah, that they are immutable.
Tuple simply means what? Tuple is part of the collection, right? And
yes,
say that it cannot be changed. Okay, so a tuple is naturable. So when I say it's a naturable, what do I mean by that?
you can look through it. Like
so tuple is a naturable, but I get that it works the same as you see a string and stuff, but the difference cannot alter its element. Okay, so once created, so that you can't change its element. Once it's recorded, there's no way you can change its element. Then you can, if now change a tuple element, what you can do is that you can assign it to a list, okay, and then from there you can change whatever that is inside, get it back. Okay, so that is a different way that you would do. Okay, so we use this one for tuple. A tuple function comes with this. So this is how a tuple function is, and then you could assign a tuple by using the square, open and square brackets. So that is a tuple. So you can see here, sorry, open brackets, or we call it parenthesis. Another word is parenthesis. So you could have this one in front, and that is tuple. And then when you come out, you see that it will come something like this as a tuple. Okay, so that is tuple. Okay, we'll be going into details about them, so you get some of these things. And then we also talked about a list. Okay, and when it comes to a list, I said that a list is also part of what the collection types, and what advantage that is because you can alter its elements. Okay, and then a list is searchable, meaning that you can look through it. Okay, so that is the difference between a list and then the symbol for a list is what the square brackets. Okay, so that is what you use, the square brackets. So if I want to create a tuple, I can create a tuple like, let's say for now we've talked about tuple. So let's say we are creating a tuple. So I can have a tuple like name me, and then I'll use this. So this one is going to give me a tuple. Okay, so you can have a list me, and then I have this, and then create this as a list. So these are empty lists. So if I want to see the type, you can do that. Print, and then I have my type here. And place my name me inside. So that tells you that this is what a tuple. So you can see class what tuple, and then you could do the same thing, and you see that this one is a list. So list me. Okay, so you could see that. So that is the symbol, or we use this as you see there. Okay. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, so we use this one for, so this is the function. So the function list, like the way you for the tuple, is the function. So create a tuple by just assigning this one to a name, and that will give you empty word a list. Okay. So that's how you get it. Then it's a loop, because you can also get done by that. Now you see here, maybe you might not understand this code. I call it basic comprehension. For instance, maybe you want to write a code where you use multiple lines of code. You can see that you want to get something like 4, 6, 36, 64, 100. So what is this code doing? So this code is a for loop. Okay, and we use the range function. Now, have I talked about range? Range.
No.
Okay. So before me, I can explain this. Let me first talk about range. numbers. Okay, so now range function is for you to generate numbers. So for you to get the number from maybe 1 to 10, instead of me to maybe create a list like a number list like here, I can say numbers. I can say numbers, and then I will assign numbers to let's see 1, 1, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if for instance you want to generate like 1,000 numbers, then it means that you have to write all these ones like this, which is not going to be easy, right? So we can use the range function to do that. So if I say range 10, so these are how to come range 10 like this, and I run this one. You see that I have 0 to 10. So what it means is that it's starting from what? From your previous knowledge. It's starting from what? It's starting from 0 and ending at what? 10, right?
9. Is it?
So it will end at 10. So definitely it's not going to, not going to be 10. So now to be able to, this is the read function. So I can use a for loop to generate numbers. Okay. So for instance, I want to generate numbers like 1 up to 10. So I can use a for loop to do that. So what I will do is that for maybe end in range. So range. So if I use 10, then if I use 10, what it means is that it will stop at what? So I'm not going to get what? I'm not going to get 10, right? As I wanted here, but then it's also going to start with what? 0. So let's see. Just want you to understand. Okay, so if I have this one here, and then I will print this, and so what will happen is if I run this code, you can see that I have what 0 to 9. Okay, but that's not what exactly I want. I want something like what this. Okay, so if I want something like this, what do I need to do? I have to write it in a way that it will be nice for me. So the default is starting from what? 0. So if I don't want the default the 0 to come, and I want it to start with index 1, what do I need to do in my code? Hello.
Repeat the question again.
I'm seeing that you see that here I wanted something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 10. Now what I did is, you know that default index is what? The range, the default is what? 0, as you can see here. So if I don't want the 0 to come, because it's going to print from 0 and end at 10, 9, as you can see here. But I don't need the 9. I don't need what? 0. So what do I need to do from your previous knowledge?
Instead of the range 10, maybe you write from range into brackets 1, 10.
Yeah. that is the solution. Thank you. You got it. So it means that we have to change here and say range 1, then comma. Okay. So definitely here we are stopping at 9. So this is so we won't get the 10. So what do I need to do here so that I will get exactly 10 as I wanted?
11.
11. Good. So if I change this one to 11, it should solve the issue. So I can see that print n. Okay, and then come here and run this code. So now you see that I have 1 to 10. Another way, if maybe I still want to maintain my 10, I could also do this. Instead of saying that 11 directly, another way of writing 11 is, what another way of writing 11? Another way of writing 11. I could also do 10 plus 1, right?
Yeah.
10 plus 1 is also 11. So you could also do this. So a programming, you can do this. So for coding and my coding start can never be this. But at the end, we should get the same result. So now you see here, I'll do this one. And then I'll run the code. So you see that I have 1 to 10. But you saw that what I just did before, everything came in the list form. So I can write everything and assign it to a list. Okay. So what I will do is that here I will just assign everything to a list. So I can see that what I want to do, I create an empty list in numbers. Okay. And then I assign this as a list. So this is a list. Because you know that a list can be what you can alter each element. So if I do it a tuple, that will not work. So I can say for and this one is a temporal variable. You can use any one you want to do for n in range. Let's say 1, comma 10 plus 1. Okay. Then I could use numbers. For this one, maybe you cannot understand the word numbers append. So we use the append to add. Okay. So numbers append end. Okay. So now I just want to add to this. Okay. So now I can see when I say numbers, it should give me the numbers. You can see here. I have all these on 1 to 10. So I can generate maybe 1,000 numbers or whatever just within that space. Okay. So with this one, there's another way that you can see the list comprehension. The list comprehension is instead of me writing all this line of code, you see that I had how many lines? 1, 2, 3, like 4. You could do everything in just line. So that's what we call list comprehension. So when you hear the word comprehension, what comes to mind? In English, when you hear the word comprehension, what comes to mind?
Understanding.
Yeah, understanding. What again?
Putting together.
What word? Putting together. So now you need to just put it together into one. Okay. So me doing all this line, what you can just write everything just one line. Okay, so that's what we call list comprehension. So it's the same as the English word. Then here we want to get all even square numbers. So now you can put a function and stuff. So what we did is that the first one is the for loop, what we just did. So now you can see the for n in range. N some calculation. So you can take the n here and bring it to front, and then you can say n times n. So it means when you get the n, it's going to multiply it. So if maybe you are saying n, you go to multiply. Okay, so that's the first part. And then the last part is you want to give a condition and say that if n, that is n times n, okay, n is 2, n times 2, modulo 2, and I will remember modulo. What's modulo?
The remainder.
Remainder. So we are saying modulo 2. Okay, so now modulo 2 will definitely give us what? What is modulo 2 going to give us?
Give back the number.
Yeah, give back the number, but the 2 actually is going to give us 2 that's actually going to give us what? Even number. How we get it?
Yes.
Yes, it's going to give us even numbers. So for instance, I just want you to really understand programming. So I don't want to rush you. So let's do this. Then from there we can come back. I'll finish this one. Then maybe next time we continue. So now here, I just want to do a simple even number script. So now I will see here, I want to generate even numbers within 10. Okay, so within 10, I will say that for n in range, range 0, 11. Okay, and then if I place 2 here, now by default, I hope you remember the scheme. Remember the scheme?
Yes.
Right? Okay, so by default, this one is 1. By default, this one is 1. Okay, so if I run this code here and then get to this side and I want to print n. I want to print n. By default, I will be getting. So you see that by default, I'm getting what? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I change this 1 to 2, definitely it will skip what? It will skip 1 because it will not be adding 1. So it will add 2